the South, y'all. They said, yeah. He said, so we got the president. They said, he said, I'm just playing y'all. That's insane. They said, yeah. He said, we're just going to take him hostage. Okay, that's better. But he wasn't finished. He also wanted to take the vice president and secretary of state hostage as well. His plan was to remove the leaders of the North, make them confused, and the South can come back and win. But then the South surrenders. So he goes back to, okay, we got the president, the vice president, and the secretary of state. They said, all right, fine. He figured if he did this, the South would have time to make their comeback since the North would be devastated. But during one of John's performances, Abe was in the audience. He said, man, John can act. Folks snapping. They said, yeah, but it looks like he's looking at you. I mean, he's looking at Abe, saying an intense speech from the play. Abe said, man, I really want to get up and talk back. Wasn't worried. He got hate mail all the time. This is just probably another dude that doesn't like him. John says that. So boom, he goes to his crew. A couple months later, he says, all right, one of y'all gonna take out the VP, the other one gonna take out the Secretary of State. I got Lincoln. So John finds out where Lincoln's watching another show. He goes to the back of the theater. Remember, he's a famous actor. Think Johnny Depp. I think, oh, it's just John. But there's one problem. John got that thing on him. And usually Abe has a bodyguard. But in what has to be the biggest fumble of all time, Abe's bodyguards across the street drank. Where to Lincoln's door. He says, I guess today's my lucky. Lincoln's attendant opens the door. He says, John. John says, yeah. He said, Lincoln's a big fan. Go right ahead. Also, can I get an autograph? John said, all right now. Man, I guess today's my lucky day. John Stanley has one shot. He gets in real close, waits for the roar of the applause, and y'all know the rest. Now, Abe was watching this show with an army officer, and he hears it because, well, he's in the box. He gets up, and they start scrapping. John manages to poke the army officer with something really sharp and takes flight. He lands on stage and makes a grand speech. You know, he's an actor. He says, tyrants, blah, 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 blah. People start figuring out what's going on. They said, is that famous actor John Wilkes Booth? He said, gotta go. He takes off. And they figure out what's going on because his wife shouts it from the balcony. The president had just been, a doctor rushes up there and they bring Abe across the street to a boarding house, and Abe was alive. The bodyguard walked out the door and said, the doctors helped Abe last through the night, but there was nothing they could do. And by the morning, he was. Here's where it starts to get wicked. John escaped. Yeah, they didn't catch him. He was gone, but he made a mistake. He underestimated how much people cared for and respected Lincoln. Newspapers everywhere were cussing him out. Even newspapers that previously cussed out Abe Lincoln, they shocked him. He thought some people in the North would probably hate him, but he'd be a hero in the South. A lot of people in the South were like, nah, we don't want him. A lot of other people, though, were like, yeah, that was great, but they didn't say it out loud. You know, Robert E. Lee, the South's like hero general, was like, nah, that ain't it. John was like, no. John was like, well, at least I got my dogs. This was like $2 million in today's time, by the way. He's like, yo, they said, yuck. He said, y'all got the Secretary of State? One of John's people was like, no. But he did get me, though, and I'm in the hospital right now, actually. John said, he's stupid. Y'all at least got the vice president? I said, oh, I got scared. I went to the drink, and you know how that goes. How you been, though, John? John said, I just the president. Oh, for real, man. I hope that don't come back on us. They came back on them. The them all pretty quickly, and he was on his own and he was on the run. Older brother, remember, he did shows in the North. He said, I voted for Lincoln. Don't say John's name in my presence. He's to me. So people didn't get mad at him for it. The feds went to his other brother's house, though. He said, is it my time to shine? They said, you going to jail because they thought he might have had something to do with it. They let him go, though, after they caught John. And they caught him 6 months later in a farmhouse. He told the farmers that he was just a regular soldier. They looked at the paper, they looked at him, but they didn't put two and two together. Agents say, come on out, John. John says, I'd rather fight. So they torched the farm. John says, damn, y'all was for real? Some random officer, John, their leader goes, are you an idiot? You want John alive so the world can have closure and people can hear why he did it from his own mouth. The soldier's like, oh, that's why you're the leader. And I'm like, oh, John. And in John's wallet, they find a picture of his wife and all the other actors, women he was with. Extend those legs nice and long up towards the ceiling. Oh, Lacey, let's go ahead and reach those legs nice and long. And how's it wobbly, you guys? Muhammad Ali wasn't flexing on him, bro. He was begging him to get And meet Sonny, and right now he's thinking two things. One, if Muhammad Ali don't shut up, they're gonna know I'm faking. And two, how did I get my ass in this situation? Well, Sonny, let me explain. It all started because of this guy, Floyd. Floyd was an activist fighting for civil rights. JFK called him into a meeting. He said, Floyd, my boy, what's good? Floyd said, what's good? JJ, what's good? JFK said, chillin', chillin'. Hey, Floyd, JFK, but don't fight Sonny. Anyway, the weather's nice today. Floyd said, oh, no, go back. What'd you say? JFK said, huh? Floyd said, huh? What'd you say? JFK said, not too much now. Hold on, let me be clear. White people don't like Sonny. White people kind of tolerate you. So when Sonny put your ass to sleep, it's gonna look like the evil black person won. Floyd said, who said I was finna lose? Floyd started looking around the room. Everybody said, Floyd looked at his manager and said, Edu. His manager said, I didn't say he was going to lose. I just said he's going to put you in a coma. Floyd said, I ain't scared. I'm taking the challenge. Manager said, listen, you're not going in there. Because even if by some miracle you were able to hang with him, you don't know the real Sonny. Yeah, Sonny is a bad boy. He hang with mafia members on the regular deep. And they don't like to lose. And they always bet on Sonny. Matter of fact, I'm going to take you to the weigh-in. Why don't you meet Sonny yourself? Floyd said, let's go. Floyd goes, wow, coach, you didn't say it's going to be that big. Hey, my name is Floyd. Nice to meet you. Sonny said, Floyd said, Sonny said, so we boxing. And Floyd said, let me talk to my coach about that. I'm gonna get back to you. Floyd said, tied to Miss Coach. I know I didn't think he was gonna be that big. Let's just say that he's tied to organized crime, so we don't want anything to do with him. Floyd said, no, I gotta box him. Everybody think I'm scared. His coach said, no, you don't. Floyd said, you fired, coach. I'm getting in there. And to Floyd's credit, he got in there. He just didn't last very long. Let's see, the problem with Sonny winning, in the words of the newspapers at the time, the Jungle Beast has won. But the sad part is, Sonny was a really nice guy. When he beat Floyd for the championship, he got really depressed because he thought everything was going to change. He stepped out of the plane after the match, and not a single person was there to greet him. When there's always a parade for the world champion. And that was the day he decided, if the world is going to paint me as a bad guy, well, then so be it. Police follow him everywhere he goes, arrest him for driving too slow, arrest him when he gets food. In this very video, he's begging them to leave him alone. He says, screw it, links back up with the mob to be an enforcer while he's still the boxing world champion. Then enter this little nobody, Muhammad Ali. See, Muhammad Ali was this pretty boy little clown that loved to run his mouth, but no one knew that there was a monster inside of him. So when he said he wanted to face Sonny for the world championship, he said, kid, you could throw hands, but Floyd pops up out of nowhere and goes, I want to go again. They said, oh, the clown. Okay, Floyd, go ahead, go ahead. Floyd said, all right, fine. Yup, Floyd loses again. They said, okay, that's the greatest boxer of all time. Nobody can ever face him. Bet. So he starts playing little pranks on Sonny to get him to box. Sonny told Ali to leave him alone. You following me everywhere. I'm better than you. Ali saying you also uglier than me. Sonny, but it turns out they were just blanks, and Sonny just wanted to scare him. They said, Ali, you scared? Ali said, set her up. They said, fine, you want to get that bad? They set it up. But the thing that nobody knew was Ali was terrified of Sonny. But that didn't stop him from showing up and shocking the world. The kid looked like he was floating, untouchable, talking as much smack inside the ring as outside. And he was backing it up. So Sonny quit, and the media came down on Sonny like a storm. Sonny ran back to his mob friends and they said, don't worry about it. We got another job for you. But let's get you that rematch with Ali. So they have their rematch. Ali knocks him down in the first round, but Ali knows how hard he hits him. So he looks at him and says, get up. Sonny doesn't respond. Ali says, don't take their money and get up. Doesn't respond. The referee is not counting. The audience begins to lose it. Chaos. Everyone's screaming. When from ringside says the fight's over. The ref says, hold on. The fight's over when I say it's over. I did not start counting because Ali was not calming down. When that person from ringside said it was over, Liston got up. When he heard the referee say it's not over, he falls back down. The crowd loses. This is all happening in the span of a few seconds. So no one really knows what's going on. Years later, I bet on the lose here. I should have got up. Funny side of the story was, okay, to be honest, I was a little scared of the kid. Ali was an actual psychopath. Everyone in the world was scared of me. But this kid was asking me to get up. He said that broke his spirit and he just couldn't do it. After this, Sonny went in hard working with the mob and ended up with a needle in his arm. The thing is, though, he was terrified of needles, so his family and friends maintained that his was very suspicious. A man who became what the world told him he always was. And in his words, all he wanted to do was help kids out so they didn't have to go through the same things that he went through.
Let's face it, most of us aren't going to set foot on Mars.
Breathing. I'm gonna go back to the module.
Some things are out of reach,
I got this.
but a card with access to exceptional benefits isn't one of them. Welcome to the Credit One Bank American Express Suite.
I'm not letting relapsing events disrupt my life. My treatment choice? Oh, that's T-Sympta. It's proven to reduce relapses and slow disability progression. Plus, it's the only B-cell treatment I can take at home.
Or take with me. Boom, that's T-Sympta.
No pre-treatment with steroids or infusion technique.
Don't take it if you've had an allergic or life-threatening reaction to T-Sympta or have hepatitis B. You'll be tested for Hep B before treatment, as it could return.
TB.
Brain infection can occur and be fatal or cause severe disability. Tell your doctor about your medical history, liver problems, plans for vaccines, and pregnancy. It's not known if it will harm your unborn baby. You'll be monitored for a decrease in certain antibodies.
I'm over here doing it's left to right, up to down.
The first hot girl perhaps was and then Cleopatra. See, Cleopatra had a problem. Her family was insane. Like them folk was tripping. Matter of fact, she wasn't even supposed to be here, but they came to her one day. She was just chilling. They said, "Girl, your cousin got it." She said, "Who did it?" Girl, I ain't no snitch. Your daddy the ruler now. Matter of fact, your sister the ruler. You sent your daddy away, and then that sister got another sister. She said, "No, your daddy came back." Oh no, your daddy just got you the little girl. I gotta go. Egypt crazy. Oh, y'all thought she was scared? Nah, she was just like them. Matter of fact, she was better because she was so far down the line. She got to watch them and peep their moves. I said she was a little too smart, so they went to her brother, who was also her husband. They said, "Look at her walking around. She owns a place." She said, "I don't know. She's pretty great." They said, "Shut up, you better." He said, I am." They said, "Yes." So they kicked her out of Egypt. He said, "Word, rubbing her hands like Birdman." Get hit out, dodging assassins left and right until the legendary Julius Caesar came to town. But he didn't come for any of them. He came for his op who was hiding out in Egypt. Cleopatra's brother said, "You the most powerful man in the world, Caesar." He said, "Word." He said, "You the smartest general." He said, "Word." So yo, op for you, we right here. We finna be like this. Caesar looks at him and he breaks down into tears. Oh, I forgot to tell you, that wasn't only his op. That was his best friend. That's why I could describe this for you. That Prime Mike Tyson is crying in front of you on the floor because you just his best friend. Brother said, he just said, "Brother said, speak up." He said, "I just wanted to talk to him." I looked at his advisor. He said, "Y'all told me to do this." He said, he said, "We good. Where's my room?" This way, sir. He goes to his room and out pops Cleopatra, who snuck in a bundle of sheets. He go, "Who are you?" She go, "Don't even worry about it." Slick talks the most powerful man in the world so much. The next day, she goes over to her brother. He said, "He's gonna show up back here again." He just walks in next to her. He goes, "Damn." He just go, "I ain't even gonna take your spot, little bro. That's your girl, huh?" Co-ruler now, all right? Brother says, "Sure." "Oh, what are the terms?" "Yo, she finna roll most of it. You finna back her up." He said, "All right, cool." He goes over with the advisor. They say, "Psych, stupid." They get their army and surround the castle, outnumbering Caesar now. Caesar said, Cleopatra said, I said, "Damn, I was scared." And the advisor said, "Probably because you're the best general in the known universe." The brother said, "You stupid. How do you think that made me feel?" Like, "Sorry, Psych, stupid. I don't care. I got the numbers. We already lost." Matter of fact, turn around. I said, "No, that's too fast. Turn around." Turn around. Ooh, bumps into Caesar. Caesar goes, "Go." They go, "Oh, you big in person. You finna let me go?" Caesar goes, "No." Again, she becomes a ruler and marries another brother because it's tradition. Her other brother, though, knew his place. She has a kid, but it ain't her brother's kid. The kid's name is Caesar Jr. Thinking, "Damn, Caesar got her whip." Caesar goes back to Rome and starts building statues of her everywhere. Nobody messing with Egypt because he's standing right next to her. On top of all that, he buys her a crib across the lake from his crib. And Caesar just buys people and she loses all her power. Like, stupid. See, you gotta listen. There was two rulers after Caesar, Mark and Octavius. Cleopatra said, "Eeny, meeny, miny, and she chooses Mark." He go, "I'm going back to Egypt." Mark go, "Have a safe trip." His boy smack him. He go, "Would you like to come and talk strategy?" Actually, he go, "Fine." 8 o'clock by the river. He go, "Word." He pulls up in the river. Big boat with his boys. Bigger boat.
We're gonna turn right back on.
Kind of my boat. Pulls up to her boat while she looking like this. He calls his girl up. He said, "Hey, what's good? Sorry, I'm never coming home. I'm finna It was dumb. Boy didn't stand a chance. Like, bro moves to Egypt and leaves his wife to be with Cleopatra and has a bunch of kids with her. But this is what becomes her downfall. Because remember the other dude, Octavius? See, he liked Cleopatra too, and boy was it hating. How do I know this? Bro wrote a whole fan fiction about him and Cleopatra. So he uses the greatest white trick in the book. Prejudice. See, politicians today just copy what old politicians did back then. He goes over, remember I told you there was both ruling. He goes over and he says, yo, Mark over there tripping. Well, he don't want to be Roman no more. He over there dressing like them, talking like them, he tripping. Octavius, Mark's still cool. He go, I know Mark is cool. It's Cleopatra. She's doing this to him. This man even says, how else is it possible that Caesar and Mark would leave their nice white Roman wives for her? Before you know it, the Egyptians are gonna come over here, take your jobs. We might start calling Egypt the capital now. They said, heck no. So a big war breaks out. Mark and Cleopatra lose the war because, well, Rome is just stronger. He thinks Cleopatra got somewhere in the war, so he tries to himself. Then they bring him to Cleopatra. They're like, bro, she's right here. And he's like, oh, well, I'm glad I got to see you. He drinks some wine and then gets, okay, this hits her up. He goes, hey, you want to come to Rome? He goes, I got this myself. And you walk me around Rome like you beat me. Octavius says, don't let her herself. He gets a bunch of Romans and they capture her. He looks at the Romans who capture her and say, I'm just a poor woman grieving over Mark. Can I go say bye? They say, of course, you're just a woman. Octavius says, where Cleopatra at? They say, she's just a poor woman. He goes, poor woman, y'all don't know who you're dealing with. He goes over, she herself rather than be captured by them. And she did it by drinking bad stuff, not by some snake.